Welcome back, everyone, to the channel. I'm your host, as always, LitecoinLeader. Today, I'm going to be talking about the CFTC striving to be in charge of cryptocurrency regulation instead of the SEC. So we get a couple of different versions of the story, and I'm going to talk about it. So let me first review the story itself. And here we go. So I have two different versions of it. First from CoinDesk, highlighted the big parts. So this is the CFTC would become the primary crypto regulator under new Senate committee plan. So it's in committee. That's important to note. So the Senate Agriculture Committee, which oversees the CFTC, which is the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, which also oversees Bitcoin and Ethereum options already, introduced a bipartisan bill Wednesday that would grant the CFTC exclusive jurisdiction over cryptocurrency trades that meet commodities law. The Digital Commodities Consumer Protection Act of 2022, sponsored by Senators Debbie Stabenow, John Boozman, Cory Booker, and John Thune, would create a definition of digital commodity that would include cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ether, but not anything that would be a security, giving the CFTC the ability to oversee both digital commodity transactions and force registration of digital commodity platforms according to a section-by-section breakdown of the bill. The crypto industry has been pushing for either a federal agency or Congress to create a clear definition of digital commodity or digital security, which could give companies greater clarity on when and how they must register with the CFTC or the SEC. The bill doesn't provide that definition. The CFTC would have some ability to define digital commodities, and the bill appears to still defer to the SEC on what a security is. So that's the CoinDesk version of the story. I wanted to share this one just so you could get an image of their Senator Stabenow. And then over on the Blockworks version of this story, here's the sponsors. They introduced it Wednesday. The legislation clarifies that Bitcoin and Ether are classified as commodities as opposed to securities. It will place them under which would have put them under the control of the SEC or the jurisdiction of them. The bill doesn't mention other tokens or provide criteria for classification. That's important to note. Also important to note, and why I used the second story, I read this in several other versions of this, the SEC, which is roughly 6 times the size of CFTC, will still control some aspects of governance over the crypto industry, but the bill does not detail exactly what this division of responsibilities will look like. So a little bit more clear, but not really. And finally, the bill also introduces new categories of registration, including digital commodity broker, digital commodity custodian, digital commodity dealer, and digital commodity trading facility. Mining activity alone is not sufficient to trigger registration as a digital commodity platform, the bill notes, highlighting an issue raised in previous crypto law proposals. I think that's the last thing I highlighted. Yes. So let me drop out of the sharing and let's just talk for a moment. So where are we at with this and what does it all mean? Well, the SEC has not been favorable so far for a lot of crypto right now. And it's just kind of, they pick and choose who they kind of go after. They've gone after Veritasium. They've gone after, now there's a lawsuit with XRP. They've gone after Coinbase as well. But the seas are still murky as far as regulation and legislation. Gary Gensler seems to have an opinion on certain things. He's the chairman of the SEC. But now the CFTC, which is already, as I mentioned earlier, in charge of Bitcoin and Ethereum options, would seek to clarify a lot of different things. And I know there's a bunch of different proposals, and I want to point out again that this is in committee. So that's important to note because we're in August now. In a month, that Congress is going to recess, which means that the odds of any of these bills getting out of committee and in front of the House for a vote, the way that laws are supposed to be created, and this goes back to, if you ever watch, I'm Just a Bill sitting on Capitol Hill, on Schoolhouse Rock. If you're old enough to remember that, leave a comment below, hashtag Just a Bill down below. The way it's supposed to work, the way it works is there's these committees, right? And there's a chairman of the committee and so on. But each committee, there's committees on ways and means, spending, education, agriculture, whatever. They get proposals, they look at them, they put forth proposed legislation. They put forth a bill. So that bill gets put to the House for a vote. If the House votes for it, then it gets passed over to the Senate. The Senate may have a different version of that bill or something similar, and then they'll vote on it. And if both houses, the Senate and the House, agree on pass it, they will go through yet another committee to kind of coalesce the two bills and make a match. And that could be the last thing they vote on. I don't remember exactly if they make them line up first or last. It's been a while since I've done that. But I do know that the House gets it first and the Senate. And there's a committee to kind of make it all together. And then it gets put on the desk of the president, and the president signs it into a law or not. If he chooses not to, then it goes back to an override vote, which I think is 2/3 of the House and the Senate to override the president's signature. But that's how laws are supposed to be made. So why do I tell you all that? Because we're at step one of a several step process. We are only at a proposal for a committee for getting this to become a law. It's got several steps to move forward, and we've only got a month until they recess, and then we're probably going to get a new Congress before they even get a chance to get it into a vote, because they're going to recess in September. There's an election in November, and then who knows who's on the committees, what the shape and the climate of the House and the Senate are going to be. Odds are it'll be more favorable to cryptocurrency in 2022 and beyond, or 2023 and beyond. It's yet to be determined. But I wanted to put it out there that the CFTC is much more favorable towards crypto than the SEC. So this is a good proposal. And also, if it gets pushed out to 2023 to become law, which seems to be like the most logical path for this, because it's not going to happen this year, then that's more likely to, like, the CFTC is probably going to be in charge of crypto in 2023. That's the way I see it going. It's hard to determine exactly how it gets there or what the climate is, but for the next 6 months, we're not going to have legislation and regulation clarity. So if you're expecting that for 2022, don't hold your breath. But the fact that we have proposals out there, and there's several proposals. I know another bill was proposed for any transaction of $200 or less was not a taxable event. I don't know what the status is of that proposal, but there's several proposals being put forth. I know, I think a representative from the state of Wyoming, which is a very favorable crypto state, has put forth, I think that was the $200 or less bill. So they're talking about it. They're trying to regulate. They're trying to move forward with this. And they're trying to catch up to the rest of the world, which isn't waiting for legislation or regulation. They're just running with it because it's so much a better system than currently in their country. So I would love to get your thoughts on what you think about this, but I wanted to give some clarity of where we're at in the proposal, why this is probably beneficial for crypto in the long run, but not the short or even the medium term. You're going to be 6 months or beyond at this point. So lots said today. I look forward to your feedback in the comments. But with all that said, I'm going to close the door on the bureau, say file leader one more time. I will talk to you soon. Take care.